All right. Deadline stream, game week 9. We're back. International breaks finished. Bit of a captaincy dilemma this week. Few people probably on their wild card or saving it till next week. Quite an exciting time. I'm just happy to have football back, to be honest. Happy to be deadline streaming to you good folk again. Yeah, if you're around in the chat, feel free to say hello. Jim has asked me, Haaland v Trippier. I don't know what I was saying then. Haaland v Trippier captaincy decision. I mean, it's Haaland for me, mate. It's Haaland for me. I don't think there's anyone else. Although, personally, I'm not a Trippier owner, and I'm quite scared about that. But I think just owning him is good enough, to be honest. I think Haaland's the best captain this week. You know, Brighton have not kept a clean sheet yet. Rodri's back in the Man City team. I think Haaland's form has dropped ever since Rodri wasn't playing, basically. So I think it's going to be absolutely fine. And Haaland's going to do all right this week. He's the top player. Well, he's not actually. It's Salah is the top player for expected points, which we'll get on to. But yeah, I think it's a Haaland captaincy this week. See if anyone else wants to say hello, and then we'll go through the usual. I predicted all the games today, scores, got the top players for expected points by position, and then yeah, just look at my team. I can have a look at yours in Draft Town too. Just let me know your team name, and I'll have a look at it. And yeah, we'll see you in the deadline together. So a bit muck on my mic. Right. Bear with. Score predictions. There we are. My laptop was working a little bit hard this morning, so hopefully we don't get another crash like we had last week. Should be fine. So, first kickoff is Liverpool and Everton. I've got a feeling it's going to be quite a cagey game. A lot of people suggesting that Liverpool are going to run away with it. Salah's the best captain, blah, blah, blah. But I just feel that those kind of derby fixtures are always quite just niggly, cagey. Well, the Liverpool-Everton one will be high energy, but I don't think it's going to be high goals. I've just got a feeling Everton are going to defend reasonably well in that one. I do think Liverpool will win. I think their quality is enough to win. The likes of Darwin Núñez, Luis Diaz probably, in my opinion, won't. Well, I don't think Darwin will start, but I think he's got a real chance of like making an impact off the bench. Probably might score the winner late on, something like that. That's a decent prediction. But I don't see them blowing them away. I reckon it's just going to be 2-1. Bournemouth and Wolves, I reckon it'll just be 1-1. I don't really see too much difference between those teams, in my opinion. Hopefully Pedro Neto gets amongst the scorers in that one. Brentford and Burnley. I do think Brentford are doing pretty averagely in the league this season, but Burnley look pretty terrible, to be honest. I think Brentford are going to score a few goals, win that 4-2, I reckon. Man City, I just don't see any way they don't absolutely hammer Brighton. Brighton are obviously a good team, and I do think they're going to score, but I mean, they've not kept a clean sheet all season yet, and I don't think that's going to continue at the Etihad. I think that's going to continue, at the Etihad. I just don't see a way that Man City don't score a hatful in that game. Rodri being back for Man City is so big. I just don't see a way that Brighton keep a clean sheet in that one. That's why I think Haaland's the best captain this game week. I've got Man City 5-1 in that game. I really do think it could be that big a scoreline. I think Newcastle have a comfortable win against Palace. Palace don't really offer anything going forward, so I think it's an easy clean sheet, in my opinion, for Newcastle. Forest, I think, beat Luton 2-0. I'm going to start with Turner in goal. That's a decision I think quite a lot of managers have got to make this week. I've got Emiliano Martinez of Villa and Turner as my keepers. You can probably tell by my score predictions that I've done that. But genuinely, I do think Forest could quite easily just win that game. Chelsea and Arsenal, it might be quite controversial to think that Chelsea are going to get a result, but the game's at Stamford Bridge, and I always think Stamford Bridge is a tough place to go if you're a top team. Chelsea always seem to show up there, at least defensively, and make it quite tough. I could see that being 2-2, to be honest. Sheffield United and Man United. I think Man United are going to win that one 3-1. I do think Sheffield United will score. To be honest, I reckon Sheffield United could score the first goal in that game, and then Man United come back. Villa 2, West Ham 2. I just don't see too much to split the two teams at the moment. They've both impressed me, and I think the way that West Ham play matches up quite well against Villa. And then I don't see any way that Spurs don't beat Fulham. I think Fulham will probably score, so I'll go 3-1 in that game. Right, we've got a chat to catch up on. Dakshin, good to see you in the chat, mate. I'll just go back to this screen. Good to see you in the chat, Dakshin. Alexandru, good morning, mate. Good to have you on board. I'm doing great. Hope you are too. Glenn Murray. I think that's Glenroy on Twitter, isn't it? Good to see you, mate. I know. I'm up early. Unbelievable. Any news on Saka? I haven't seen any, mate, other than Arteta saying that he's doing all right. The unfortunate thing is all the press conferences we had yesterday just said that players are doing all right. Like the players that were actually interested in Botman, Saka, those kind of guys that are niggling injuries, etc. There's no real news, I'm afraid. Dakshin, Turner, Cass, Trippier, Botman, Udogi, Saka, Salah, Son, Diaby and Boomer Haaland. Do I need to wildcard? My other players are, oh mate, absolutely not. The only player that you'd be worried about there is Botman. I mean, the rest of them, you literally have a wildcard team, in my opinion. I would not be rushing the wildcard there at all. In fact, I don't think you even need to play it next week when a lot of players are, because, yeah, it looks great. The only player you're missing is Watkins. So, in my opinion, if you had a way to get Watkins in, that's the way to go. But if you don't, I wouldn't worry too much. 1 week punt, Solanke, Wissa or Porro. I like Solanke or Porro. I'm not too sure about Wissa. Solanke, I think, beats Wissa because he's on the pens. Porro, I really like him too, but I don't think there's too much between Porro and Solanke. 2 secs, bear with. What's next? Hello, Sidemen Shorts. Good to have you in the chat. FPL Boo Boo, best defender under 4.6 million. Well, shall we have a look? I think I can do that. So we want to look at on Draft Hound. Oh, on Draft Hound. Sorry, I got a bit of a cold this morning. I keep having colds on the Saturday deadline streams. So he wanted a, what did he want? 4.6 million best defender for a 1 week punt. That's quite interesting. There you go, that's your lot. It's not that exciting, is it? Does that give you any inspiration, Boo Boo? Yeah, no news on Botman, I'm afraid. Dan, it's good to have you. Chris Gray has wildcarded. Not convinced by my midfielders. I have Trippier in defence, Salah, Haaland, Watkins. My midfielders currently Salah, Son, Neto, Diaby and Gordon. Thoughts? I don't mind it. Personally, I have a different opinion to quite a lot of other FPL people, but I think you can go without Heung-min Son. I personally don't like that niggling injury that he's got. I think you could drop Son to Maddison. I personally prefer Maddison to Son. And then maybe you could upgrade one of Neto and Gordon. I don't mind having one player at that price point, but I reckon having a couple is just a bit too much. Yeah, Son v Maddison. I think you go Maddison. If you're feeling your midfield's a bit light, I think Maddison will solve that issue. I think there's nearly a couple million in it, isn't there? And then you could potentially upgrade Gordon or Neto. It doesn't really matter. I think they're both about the same. But yeah, I do think you only want one player at that price point. Yeah, Simicast, Glenn Murray's probably right there, to be fair, for a 1 week punt. No, I wouldn't do a doggy to burn, mate. I don't think you need to do that. Who's your doggy got? He's got Fulham, hasn't he? Yeah, I mean, that's fine in my opinion. Would you sell Botman to a cheaper defender instead of Burn? Have 2 free transfers, don't want to waste one. Yeah, different opinion, I'm afraid, Alexandru, but I totally respect yours. Would I sell Botman? It all depends, really. I mean, I think he'll probably be back next week or the week after. It's just, yeah, I guess you could. It depends if you have any money wrapped up in him. If you've had a couple price rises, I don't even think you will, to be fair, if he's dropped. Maybe you could sell him. I don't think I'd be rushing him out, though, because I reckon he'll be back next week or the week after. He's so good that Eddie Howe will want him back in that team as soon as he's fit. Bear with, champ. What else we got? We got the top players for position by expected points. There we go. Here's your keepers. Top keeper this week. Hopefully, Mike, this will help you. We got Pope, 3.8 expected points, the top goalkeeper. Vicario, Alisson, Turner, Onana, Raya, Flecken, Martinez, Edison, and Neto. Those are your top keepers for expected points. Defenders, Trippier comes out way on top. It's quite scary, actually. I'd imagine, given that there are a couple of Liverpool players in there, Glenn Murray's shout of Simicast is actually really nice, especially just for 1 week. Trent is in second. You've got Pedro Porro, Cash, Udogi, Cher, Virgil van Dijk, Van de Ven, Bolly, and Burn. It's quite interesting to see Willy Bolly that high up. He's also got one of my favourite names in football, but yeah, quite interesting to see Bolly up there. Midfielders, I mean, Salah's leading the way this week. 8.6 expected points. I'm going to give it away on the forwards already because you can imagine who's top. He's actually above Haaland, 8.6 to 8.3. Maddison and Son level pegging on expected points. I think the algorithms might well be favouring Maddison doing a few more minutes in the game, which is why he's equal. I think per minute, Son is a better asset than Maddison, but I think just with that niggling injury that Son has got, I think Maddison's going to play more minutes. So yeah, Rashford and Mbumo, Luis Diaz, Bruno Fernandes, Gordon, Almiron and Saka round out the midfielders. I mean, the forwards is no surprise. Haaland, Alvarez, Watkins top. Darwin Núñez is up there. Isak is up there. I don't really like those guys though because I just don't know if they're going to start. Højlund, I don't mind him, but again, it's Man United. Not seen too much from them. I made a video saying that I don't recommend their players at the moment anyway. Wissa, Jesus, Solanke and Morris are your forwards. The captaincy is the big decision. I've done a poll. We'll have a look and see what people have said on the poll as well. Answer the captaincy poll if you haven't already, please. Haaland leading the way, 68% of the vote so far. I think that's absolutely fair enough. Quick look at the chat. Play Diaby or Cash. We'll have a look at their expected points, shall we? We can do a player comparison. In draft time and have a look. I don't mind Jesus, but I don't think he's dangerous enough. Like, he's obviously very important to the Arsenal team in that he gets involved in the build-up play. But I just don't think he's dangerous enough. He doesn't get on the end of enough chances for me. I don't know what other people think on that one. You want Cash and Diaby. Oh, bloody hell, that's close, isn't it? Next game week, 5 expected points for Cash, 4.9 for Diaby. Oh, that doesn't help. Minutes is a factor, but for Cash, actually, you want him to play less minutes, don't you? Get subbed off at 60 with a clean sheet. I'll see what the chat says. What do you reckon, Cash or Diaby in the chat? I wouldn't be concerned about Saka in your team. I have a feeling if he's not back this week, he'll be back next week. Botman, I think, is the same. João Pedro, I don't think João Pedro is the end of the world either, to be honest, because Brighton have got a really nice fixture run coming up. But I can imagine having all three is a bit of an issue. So maybe doing... Would you sell Botman this week? Probably would, because you just want Saka back next week. Botman you could probably live without. Botman to Burn, something like that would be easy, wouldn't it? It's fair enough, Sidemen Shorts. Boo Boo, Luke Disable on Twitter has suggested that they're both going to play. So, yeah, the best predictor in the Man City game has suggested they'll start. We've got no concrete news, though. Harmony, good to see you in the chat. Do you think Alvarez will start? I do think he'll start. Triple strikers, Watkins, Darwin, Alvarez, and money to move any to Jesus. I would just... The only one I'd move is Darwin Núñez because I'm just not sure he's going to play this week and then he'll probably play next week. So I think you just leave it. I would start Dan Burn personally of that lot. Shall I bring in Foden? I wouldn't rush him in because I think... Yeah, just with Doku, Grealish, all those guys they've got, I think Foden is more of a minutes risk than he was at the beginning of the season. Who will score more points, Cash or Cher? Personally, I prefer Cash. Will Akanji start? Or mate, I don't think so. How many points does Haaland need to score to punish your rank? Unfortunately, I don't think we know that until we know how many people captain him this week. I just think it's impossible to say. Yeah, it's frustrating, isn't it, Joseph? I personally think that Saka won't play this week, and he will play next week. That's what I'm thinking. I don't mind Trippier captain. We'll go back to the captaincy poll. We'll go back to the old captaincy graphic. There you go. I don't mind Trippier captain, but I just think there are two guys that are way clear of him this week. Salah and Haaland are just better. So yes, it's a decent shout, but it's too rogue for me personally. If you want to do it, you go right ahead, mate. I will have a look at your team, Mike. Should I start Tsimikas or Cash? Oh my god. So, right, here's a question for you. So there are two aspects that you would obviously choose one of those players on, right? Number one is your belief of their likelihood of keeping a clean sheet. Number two is your belief of likelihood of getting an attacking return. The bonus points factor in, but I think, you can't really predict bonus points. Maybe you can with someone like Trippier, but clean sheet, attacking return. Who, in your opinion, is more likely to keep a clean sheet? Who, in your opinion, is more likely to keep an attacking return? And if they're both, the answer to both is the same player, then pick them. If it's not, come back to me. I'll try to help you. I'll just quickly show you my team as well. We're on Twitter a second. Here's how I'm lining up at the moment. I had to hit that wild card on a bit of a panic last week because Cash rose in price and I couldn't afford him. So here's how we're looking. I'm not too unhappy with that, to be honest. I think this is a decent team. Yeah, I know. Do you remember last week? I think you were in the stream, Sidemen Shorts. I needed to buy a defender for 4.2 million with one of the drafts that I made. And I was looking at Maguire because he's 4.2 million. Should have gone with him, shouldn't I? You've been better than Zuma. Start Cash or Doggy. Yeah, man. Mike Theo, I would personally start. Yeah, I think both of them could be started over another player you might have in your team. Like, I genuinely think that could be the case. I don't mind it, Benj, but you'd probably have a different opinion if Diaby scores this game week. I will do, Mike. I'll have a look at it. Dakshin asking for my thoughts on the KSI robbery. Well, I watched the fight. I watched them all. I was very disappointed in their quality, although I'm not really sure why I was surprised that it wasn't very good. I don't think KSI got robbed. I think it was a slight favour to Tommy Fury or a draw. That's the two results that I would have gone for. Because when a boxing judge judges boxing, it's on like who pushes the pace. I don't know, who tries to land the most punches, etc., etc. And KSI did not go into that he didn't have a pro boxer tactic, which I think the judges didn't favour because he didn't want to box. He went into hit him once, go into the clinch, hit him once, go into the clinch. That's all KSI did. And whilst it was really effective, don't get me wrong, it completely nullified Tommy Fury. I think if you're a judge, I don't think you can favour someone that fights like that. I just don't think you can. Otherwise, you're doing a disservice to your sport, basically. So yeah, I don't think he was robbed, but I do think it was probably a draw on the whole of it, with probably Tommy Fury just slightly edging it. That would be my thoughts on it. If you have a different opinion, that's all fine. Should I start Cash or Share if you already own Trippier? I would start Cash. Next game week, I'm going Mbumo to Mitoma. Fair enough. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. I'll have a look at your team in just a second. More attacking threat than most Man United players, yeah, he does. Is Alvarez on the starting 11? No one knows at the moment, but I reckon he does start, if you want my prediction. What was I going to look at? I was going to have a look at Mike's team. $9,550. Why do I own Zuma? That is a good question, mate. I had $4.5 million to spend on a defender. I thought Zuma had some good goal threat from James Ward-Prowse set pieces if I ever needed him. So yeah, I did that. I'm going to try and remember your team name, Dakshin. So this is Mike Ramsey's team. Kufal was the one. Oh well. It is what it is, mate. I think I'll survive. I need to zoom in, do I? Oh, no. Zoom out. I've got a massive white box next to the team. Why has it done that? I've no idea. You'll have to put up with it, I'm afraid. There's nothing I can do about that. Yeah, don't know why it's doing that. Turner in goal over Areola. Yeah, makes sense. Trippier, Trent, Porro, Cash. Salasson, Madison, Diaby. Yeah, mate. The team that I'm looking at here is absolutely fine. I think this week Darwin Núñez is probably the right one to bench. I know if he does start, he's probably going to outscore someone like Diaby. But the question is, does he start? I think Diaby's nailed on for Villa. Darwin Núñez is not for Liverpool. So, yeah. Although I do think Darwin could come in off the bench. That's the only thing I'm thinking. He could come in off the bench and make an impact against Everton. But I reckon that's what's going to happen. And he'll probably score the winner or something. Dakshin. I've got to try and remember what his team... Actually, no. I don't remember his team name, but I do remember that's what his name is. There he is. See? Find it. Theo, I think I already kind of answered that. I don't know. I think it really is 50-50, mate. And I think potentially one of them could start ahead of a midfielder or striker that you have. I genuinely do. I think they're that good this game week. I mean, look at their expected points, 4.9 versus 5. There's really nothing to choose between them. If you wanted Mike Theo, I could do a virtual coin flip and take the decision out of your hand. So we got one free transfer. Mate, I'd honestly just leave the team out. Dare I say it, but you could do Saka to Bruno Fernandes this week and then go back to Saka next week. Something like that. To be fair, I don't know how the rankings dropped because that's a really nice team. I think you just got an unlucky, mate. I wouldn't read into that too much. Bro, I do like that team. I think Bob... What would I do with that team? How many free transfers do you have, Dakshin? We just got the one. Chat, what would you do with this team? I'm just thinking at the moment. It's going to take me a little while to think about what to do with it. If there's anyone you recommend him bring in, just stick it in the chat. Oh, Alexandru, while that's happening, should I take a -4 or -8 to get Trippier in? Nah. I am in that position where I am greatly regretting not having him, but I reckon I've got Dan Burn who could do all right. So I don't think he's worth a hit. I think if you don't have him now, you've just got to ride it out, to be honest. In the team. I don't think it's that bad, personally. Bumo to Jensen is like very sideways. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure that's the move he should make there. Success. I'm from the UK. I live in England. Bro. Oh yeah, saw that one already. I won't read the message out. Action's already taken the roasting on the chin. Yeah, I would agree with that, Harmony. I think that's what's going to happen. The thing is, with this team rolling, he's got Botman and Saka, who I don't think, personally, there's no news to suggest if they're going to play or not. I reckon both of them are going to miss out this week. And then you've got João Pedro and Cabore coming on, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but is Cabore going to score any points at the Forest ground? Probably not. Is João Pedro going to get any points at the Etihad? I mean, probably not. I wouldn't be too... I'm just not sure. Mike's bigging up João Pedro. I'm just not sure. Thing is, the team's not like, if he were to wildcard, right, I would change like 3 players in this team. Like, Saka would probably be in it next week. Botman to Burn, yeah, I don't mind it. It sounds super duper boring, doesn't it? But I would probably do Botman to Burn. I would. And then this team next week is lovely. You'd probably just want to get rid of Mbumo, but you can do that next week. Botman to Burn, I think, is really smart. And then if Saka doesn't play, you've got João Pedro coming off the bench. I think it's fine. Yeah, I agree, Mike. Yeah, you could go Mbumo to Matoma next week, something like that. Yeah, Botman to Burn. It's really boring, but I think that's probably the way to play it. Yep, I reckon so, Dakshin. Just do Botman to Burn. You got the help from all the good folk in the chat as well there. Yeah, Botman to Burn. I know you suggested that yourself, but I do think that's the way to go. If you just need someone to reaffirm your thinking, I think that's the way to go. I was just going to have a quick look at Twitter to see if we've got any team news. That's a great tweet to come on Twitter too, isn't it? Look at his face, man. Dakshin, you took that one on the chin. I wouldn't worry too much. People will be jealous because you still got your wild card in hand, mate. I wouldn't worry. That wild card in hand. I don't know how many points it's worth, but I reckon you'll be fine. Twitter is having a day off at the moment by the looks of it. Just gonna see if we've got any team news. You took a joke better than some people I saw on Twitter this week. Start to Gordon, Udogie, or Cash. Oh, I'd say of those 3, Gordon and Cash. I don't think there's anything yet. Hey, we've got to be nice to Dakshin. Be nice to him now. His team's not on the screen anymore. It's time to be at peace. I'm not going to get involved in that, sorry, Ben Shores, but you can have a look yourself if you wanted to. Oh, actually, no, you can't, because the guy who did it, his account has been deactivated. Whether that is because he did it or he got banned, I'm not too sure. Yeah, I'm looking at Draft Hound, by the way, Gary. Yep, Mike's on it. Mike wanted me to have a look at his wife's team. Let's have a gander, mate. Mrs. Ramsey, let's have a look at your team. The big question is, who has the highest rank? Sidemen Shorts, it does. I'm not going to get involved in it because it's not my... just unnecessary. I think the whole situation played out on Twitter, didn't it? Honestly, mate, or Shelley, I would probably wildcard. What do you reckon, folks? Because I'm looking at this team, and there are 2 players in it in the defence that might not play. Or maybe actually no, you got to pick. You could do a. Could you do a Kanji to Could you do a Kanji to Trippier? If you can do a Kanji to Trippier. Other than that, just do Botman to Burn, I reckon. You could probably hold out one more week, but I would be very close to wildcarding this team. Does anyone else see an obvious transfer in this team? Excuse me. Hey, Glenn, we're all just, we don't care. Although there are a few, I know there's a chap on Twitter who I've had a bit of a spat with, Wonder Cat Venus. I've honestly got no beef with him, I don't care. We just had a bit of a back and forth in Twitter. But he's a little bit of a controversial figure, and I think he's well aware of that himself. But there's no real beef there. Like, I'm not gonna, if I met him, I'd just shake hands and be normal. Like, I have no real issue. So yeah, there's no beef. It's a peaceful community. I don't know, tell you what, I wouldn't. The thing is, though, I'm just not sure I would sell Foden this week. Foden to Martinelli is a nice move, and I'll probably do that next week, but I just think Foden's going to play. But I think, 4 or 5 that would change on wildcard, I think that's reason enough to wildcard. Personally. We have 2 transfers next 2 weeks. So you're saying so that's a question I didn't ask, to be fair, Mike. The team I'm looking at now, does that team have 2 free transfers? You could do a Kanji to Gabriel, couldn't you? You could do a Kanji to Gabriel. I don't mind Gabriel. And then next week you have the cash to do Mbumo to Martinelli. This team has the cash to do Mbumo to Martinelli. Got one this week. Because Simon Shorts is right. If I wanted to make my personal ideal team, I think there's 5 or 6 players in here, to be fair, that I wouldn't have in it, which is close to a wild card for me. But obviously my opinion is different to, I can't remember your wife's name now, sorry. But my opinion is different to hers, so she might have players that she wants to keep in this team long term, and then in that case she shouldn't do it. I don't mind a Kanji to Gabriel. I also, if you do a Kanji to Gabriel, you've got to assume that Botman probably plays next week. I don't mind a Kanji to Gabriel. It does look decent next week, you're right. It does look decent. Maybe that's the move, a Kanji to Gabriel, mate. I'm pretty sure Gabriel is 4.7. Yeah, I like that. And then a Kanji, he could start this week, potentially keep a clean sheet, but just week on week, you'd always be worried about him starting, and I think that's that's just an issue, isn't it? Like, you don't have to worry in FPL. You don't have to worry about a player not playing. That's not good. It's fair enough, Glenn. I would, like I said, I'd meet him, shake hands with him, have a very civilized and normal conversation. From my end, I've no real beef. I mean, it's just Twitter, isn't it? Like, who cares? It's just text on the screen. I say that, but I imagine if I was bigger, beef might be a bit more substantial with thousands of people in the replies and stuff, but just don't care. Got bigger fish to fry. See if we got any Twitter news going on. Oh, mate. Dan Cox on Bayer. I am... Yeah, there you go. I like that, Mike. You set yourself up nicely, don't you? The only thing is, will Højlund rise in price? I think if Højlund performed really well against Sheffield United, he probably does, to be fair. But we'll cross that bridge when you come to it, I reckon. So I'm just sharing my jamminess in Sky, where I missed the deadline to bring in Jordan Bayer, who blanked for a captaincy game and got injured. Ben, good to have you in the chat, mate. Hope you're all good. I'm very well. I'm very well, mate. It's a bright, and well, it's not that bright outside, actually. It's horrible. Yeah, it's grey and terrible outside, but it's Saturday. Football's back. It's impossible not to be happy. One FPL dilemma for wing. I think that's fine, mate. I would be concerned. Oh, here's the Man City predicted 11, by the way. For you all to see. Akanji's in it. But I still think it's an upgrade. I would agree with Harmony. Even though this week Akanji might play, you just don't know week on week. I mean, they've got Diaz, or he's not predicting Diaz to play. Yeah, they've got Diaz, Guardiola. They've just got so many good defenders. I think it's hard. Don't think there are any rained off games, Ben. I'll have a look at yours in a second. CFC MK. Right. Let's have a look at his team. So you've got to so with a hit, right, I'm going to say the most simple thing in the world, but this is how you need to think about, is it worth taking a hit? So in order to take a hit in a game week, the transfer that you make has to be worth 4 points for the hit to be worth it, right? So you take out Akanji for Gabriel, Pedro for Højlund. Who are you starting Højlund for in this team? And will he score 4 more points than the person that you replace him with in your mind? And if the answer to that question is yes, then it's worth a hit. So I think I would do it. I would agree with Harmony. I think you probably take out either Botman or Colwill. Botman's not going to play. So Højlund literally needs to just get an attack in return for the hit to be worth it. Sheffield United is the fixture. I mean, I think it could be worthwhile. I haven't seen anything yet, Peppermint Freedom. I'm going to have a look at CFC MK's team now. By the way, thank you everyone for joining the stream. We've got 30 people watching at the moment. That's fantastic. Thank you very much. Yeah, feel free to say hello in the chat if you haven't already. Please leave a like rating on the stream as well if you're enjoying yourself, and subscribe to the Goal and Goal channel. I don't know where the subscribe button is when I'm live streaming because I have a different view, but it should be somewhere down there. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate that. And yeah, feel free to drop your team ID or team name in the chat and I will have a look at it. In Draft Town, 227-5406. You got one free transfer. Oh, mate, I would not. There's just no transfer I'd make to this team. Yeah, I'd agree with Dakshin there. There isn't a transfer I'd make with this team, mate. I mean, would anyone see a transfer there? I personally don't. I think that's one of the best teams you can pick for this game week, gotta be honest. Botman, you don't need to do anything with him. He'll be back next week. Just keep your transfer. I wouldn't do anything. Personally, I'd captain Haaland over Salah, but that's me. I can't really argue the case for either way because they're both very close. I just think personally the Liverpool-Everton game will be quite cagey, and the Man City-Brighton game will not. Right, Schenko next. 153 2948. Yeah, I guess you're right, Mike. It's not necessarily 4 points straight, it's how you are for the future as well. I think, yeah, on the face of it, the Højlund hit's probably worth it. Schenko's team. Oh, mate, really nice. Would I do anything? No. No, I wouldn't do anything with this team. It's lovely. You obviously are missing Salah, but there's no easy route to get him. So I think, fine. I've no comment, really. I think it's a really nice team. Success is up next. So he wonders, or she wonders, whether they should wildcard. Oh, no. Not this week. Probably don't need to wildcard at all. I really like this team. Yeah, the hit could save the wildcard, Mike. I wouldn't make a transfer to this team. I certainly wouldn't wildcard success. So it's a really nice team. Nothing I would do to that. Who else we got? Ashton. Everyone in the chat being very complimentary of your team as well. Is that Ashton's team? 145 9019. I was going to say the person's name there was written in Arabic, I think, so that didn't look like an Ashton. This is Ashton's team. Oh, again, like, personally, I don't think the ranks are really worth the paper they're written on until like Christmas time. I know I put in the title of one of my video what my rank was, but I mean, yeah, I don't think they're worth too much until sort of halfway, really. Until everyone's played the first wild card, I think that's when we'll find out really where you are in the game. As for this team, there's not a whole lot I'd do to that either. Nothing in the bank, so you can't really... There's just nothing you do to that team. Who else we got? AFC champions. AFC champions. There he is. Yeah, there's just nothing I would do to that team. It's absolutely bang on perfect for this week. I'm very jealous that you managed to get all of these players in the same team. You're Haalandless, but with the team you've got and no Haaland, you have to do that. I like it. Who else we got? Victor Frankl. I think that's the last one. 754. I think it's very easy in FPL to get dragged into. I like the team name. It's very easy to get dragged into thinking you need to make a transfer. Maybe people you're watching, seeing on Twitter, are all making moves, but oh god, yeah, you are sorry, Nick Jackson, aren't you? Oh right, you've already done Jackson to Watkins. Okay, I like that. Not sure who to bench. Yeah, it's a toughie, isn't it? I think I would bench Saka. Actually, would you bench Saka? Because if he's going to play, I feel like Saka either starts or doesn't feature at all. So you could probably get away with starting Saka. I think I'd bench Walker. Yeah, you got to bench Walker, haven't you? I do feel like Brighton could score. I think you got to bench Walker. Yeah, bench Kyle Walker. No worries, Ashton. Mr. Potato Waffles. Isaac to who? Ben just popping in with Andrew Tate. Nice. Oh, they do suggested transfers as well. That's what it's saying. Saka to Madison, apparently, but it's all right, pal. Yeah, I'd start Watkins, bench Walker. I reckon Brighton score. Oh, quick look at Twitter. I'm just gonna chill out for a minute. All that thinking about people's teams quite tiring. Ooh. Bloody Christmas soon, isn't it? Terrifying. Leeds on their way to you, Ben. Oh, your team name is Andrew Tate. Oh, fantastic. I'll have a look at your team then in a sec. Fun. Mention him and he comes up then. Who would be in your Starting 11, Foster or Alvarez? I would do Alvarez. What gash tweet that is. I think the game thinks that Twitter thinks I'm in my like 50s. Oh, Nigel Pearson, my gaffer. Oh, you'll go into the Leeds game today. Has your scoring form gotten worse or better? Because I remember Norwich were scoring like 3 or 4 goals every game, weren't they? I will be going to Coventry at home at 3 o'clock, mate. We got Coventry, which I'm quite looking forward to. Oh, shall I captain Haaland or Salah? Well, looking at the captaincy poll, 66 votes. They're saying you should go Salah. Salah. Haaland on the whole. That's what my poll's saying. Hopefully that's useful for you. Team ID for Jim. Right, we'll have a look at Ben and Jim's team now. The thing is, if I type that in, there's going to be loads of people with that. Oh no. There you go. Well, Mr. Tate, I wouldn't do anything with that team. Looks fine. Rashford is obviously on the chopping block soon, but right now I'd just leave him. I really like the team. Andrew, you've built a nice team, mate. There's nothing I can say on that, really. It's a really nice team. 874 58 92. Flecken sounds like he's back from appendicitis, so I don't mind that. Oh, mate, it's a lovely team. You want to transfer in Simicast, but I just wouldn't do it, mate. I wouldn't do it. It's a lovely team. There's no need for Simicast. If this is your team, by the way. Hopefully I've typed it in correctly. But this team, in my opinion, does not look like you need to transfer in Simicast. See if I can go for my team. Here I am. Here I am. Let's go back to my team, see what that's looking like. See what Draft Hound is saying I should do. There you go. There's how we are. It's looking alright, isn't it? Can't really complain. I don't know what I'm doing with Bruno Fernandes in my team, by the way. But my plan is to keep him this week. My wildcard did well in that team. In fact, we shall have a look at that now. I'll just turn off the screen share a sec while I log in, because you'll see my login details otherwise. Right, there we go. I'd be interested while I do this to know what everyone's up to this weekend, other than watching the football. Anyone got any nice plans? I'm going to go to the football myself today. I'll make a video tonight. I usually do a YouTube video on Saturday night to go up Sunday morning, so keep an eye out for that. And then tomorrow, gonna do. So basically, there's like in Bristol, there's an American games place. It's called, what's it called? Roxy Lanes, I think it's called. You can do bowling and curling and stuff like that. So I think we're gonna go and play some of those games tomorrow, which should be good fun. And then I'll train both days as well. Gym after this, and then swim tomorrow. Swimmer life, gym and swim. That's all I do. Greyhound racing, eh? Get you. I've not done that yet. Right, I think I'm logged in. I don't know if I shared what my wildcard team and fan team was. How much do I bench on? Not that much. I think I'm on about 90 kg at the moment. I'm getting there, but I'm not that strong. I find it a hard balance between gymming and swimming. I try to do one of them every day, but it usually means that I gym 2-3 times a week, which is fine, but I don't think it's like optimal for getting really, really strong. I would, looking at Ben in his profile picture, I'd hedge a bet he could bench more than me. And also, I usually go to the, and I don't mean to make this sound like an excuse, but I usually go to the gym just by myself. So going 1 rep maxes probably not the best idea when you're on your own without a spotter. So yeah, I've done I think a 90 kilo bench before on my own for like 2 or 3 reps, but I've never gone for a 1 rep max because I just go on my own and I'd be worried about dying. And ultimately, like, what was I going to say? Yeah, 1 rep max doesn't really. It doesn't. You know, you don't make any gains from doing a 1 rep max. Like, it's not a. It's like swimming, right? You don't necessarily make any gains by doing a competition. The competition is like a culmination of all the training. So for me, I train in the gym to get better every time rather than like trying to prove my 1 rep max. I just do progressive overload week on week rather than a 1 rep max. I've said a load of excuses to explain why my bench isn't as high as you guys, I imagine. But yeah, that's my mindset. That's my fan team. It did very well. I went from like 4k to 1.9k, and I'm not too far off the leader. Like, it's all very close. But yeah, that's my fan team. I quite like it. I'm very happy with it. It's ticks all the boxes in my opinion. I know I've got Solanke in there. Ooh, but genuinely in fan team you get a bonus point for a player playing 90 minutes. And it's huge. And if you look at Solanke's points, oh yeah, that's a good point. I should probably change the captaincy to Haaland in a fan team, shouldn't I? No, I don't want to captain Salah. That's a good spot. I hadn't touched it since last week. Just going to stick the old capo on Haaland while we're here. What do you need, Ben? What's your dilemma? 2 seconds, I just need to blow my nose. I can't bring myself to captain Son. I can't bring myself to do it, I'm afraid. I'd love to, but I just can't bring myself to do that. In fan team, I don't think it's worth it because he probably won't play 90 minutes either. Whereas Haaland and Salah probably will. Captaining Bruno. I think it's 2 rogue. Like, there are rogue picks and then there's one that's 2 rogue. I think he'll do all right, but I just haven't seen enough from Man United yet to suggest that their players are worth captaining. Right, there we go. Haaland captain in both fan teams. They're both identical. That's what they're looking like. Well, the bencher of that lot is between Neto and Solanke. I would probably play Areola, definitely. Because Kaminsky ain't keeping a clean sheet. No way. I would just personally play Areola. And I know Kaminsky's got a chance of getting saves, but it's Forest. I don't think they're that good. They don't have a Woody either. So I think I'd play Areola. And then as for... We'll help you out with a bit of spin the wheel, Ben. What are your options? It was Solanke and Neto. So this is who to play. Bowen. What? So it's saying bench Solanke. Oh, my laptop is not liking spin the wheel. My stream got really bad then. Hopefully it didn't kill off. Yeah, I think benching Bowen is bold, mate. I'm not sure I'd do that. Gotta say, I'm not sure I'd do that. We should have a look at Twitter a second, see if we've got any leaks. I don't like having... That's the thing, I don't like having big depth in my FPL teams. Even if it's almost like... That's my waiting pose. Hopefully we're back. There we go. Big ups. My laptop died. I need to do something about it because it's died on 2 streams now. I think it's I've used up so much memory, like on the videos that I've recorded and stuff, that it's dying. I think we need to stay away from Twitter and sharing it on screen. Hopefully the stream comes back and it's all good. I am back. I am back. I will just... I think so, Aaron. I think Wilson will play. I think Wilson will play. Load up my team. Put it on screen. Yeah, Paul, I've got a very similar issue to you. Very similar issue. I think I'm making 4 transfers in Sky this week. I can't quite believe it. But I think I'm making 4. Just got to sort my screens out a sec. Right, we back. We back in the room. That was a bit of a nightmare, wasn't it? We have returned. Thanks everyone for sticking around, putting up with my my crap. If it goes again, I think I'm gonna have to take the morning off and sort my laptop out. It's all that porn that Ben has been sending me. Isak replacement other than Darwin if he doesn't start Wilson. That's risky, I know. Or Højlund from Man United. I don't mind Højlund. That's what I would suggest. Sam, I don't know if anyone's seen Sam C345 on Twitter is going to have leaks apparently. So that's useful and good. Should charge me phone. Sterling in cash. But I'm confused, mate. Are you saying players to bring in? If you wanted my opinion, I would do Neto in cash of that lot, but I'm confused. I'm confused by what that question is. Oh, I just plugged my phone in. My bad. Do you reckon Nunes will start? I don't think Nunes is going to start, but I do think Nunes could come off the bench and score. That's what I think could happen. Is Saka expected to start this week? I'm not sure. No one knows if Saka's going to play. No one knows if Nunes is going to play. The thing is with Saka, I guess, is you don't need to bench Saka because he either plays from starting or he doesn't play at all. Which one would be better? Neto. Ooh, Sterling in cash and Neto in Consa, I think. Who's that wing? Who's Don? I'm not sure wing. My laptop crashed, so I got distracted by that, I'm afraid. Chuck it in again. Chuck it in again, mate. I would have missed it, I imagine, with all my crashing going on. Oh, Son, you're saying wing is a great pick. Nunes v Diaby. I think I'd start Diaby. Is Son / Diaby better than Saka v Madison? I'm going with a wild card this week. It's so tough. It's so tough. I think if there's a way you can get Madison in Saka, I'd probably do it. Maybe you should go Diaby and Madison this week, assuming that Saka doesn't play unless you've got a good enough bench. Then get Saka in next week, because I think Madison and Saka is the better duo. I really do. It's just a worry that Saka doesn't play this week. Like my team, I think the decision is easy on transfer next week. I do Bruno to Saka, and then I have to make one other transfer to fund it, which I think will be Zuma to someone cheaper, or Martinez to Johnston, something like that. But right now, there's nothing I can do. Is the stream in good Is the stream in good HD quality, or is it a bit blurry? Because the preview screen I'm looking at is really blurry, and it shouldn't be because I'm streaming in 1080p, so it should be sound. Oh, we should be back live. Hopefully that does the trick. Yeah. My laptop has been struggling to stream, and I had all of the videos that I'd made, basically, I had saved on my hard drive still. So there were gigabytes and gigabytes of files on there, which I believe I've just removed. I also had loads of unused screens in OBS that I didn't use, so I've gotten rid of those to hopefully make that a bit quicker to perform. As you can see, look at all these screens. So I got rid of most of them. We're taking a break. We're not taking a break. That's a bit of clusterfuck for you guys, isn't it, to look at? But yeah, we're back now. What I'm going to do is load up FPL. I'm not going to do anything too taxing on my laptop from here until the deadline. I'm just going to leave as is. Oh, not Facebook. We don't want to go on Facebook. We'll leave as is, so we don't use too much of my processor. Hopefully my laptop doesn't have to work too hard. as a result. We're back. We're back. Aaron, I'm back, mate. Aaron, I am back. What a mare, eh? What a nightmare. There we go. Just make that a little bit wider. Bosh. So I mentioned my laptop crashed again. That's what happened. Hopefully we're back now. The CPU is being used a lot less than it was previously. So hopefully that means we don't crash anymore. I tried to adjust the quality of the stream preview and it crashed my laptop. So I'm kind of hoping that... Are we streaming in HD even? Are you guys seeing the stream in HD? Or are you seeing it really blurry? Really poor quality? It should be streaming in 720, but I'll just check. Oh, sorry, I'm just looking at my own preview a second. Hopefully it's all good. I'll just watch it on my phone just to see. It's good. Cheers, lads. So the preview is not working for me, so it's hard to tell if you guys are getting a good picture. Bear with. Crisp video. Excellent. Excellent. Oh, we're back. Right, sorry about that, folks. Hopefully it won't crash again. It looks like my laptop is using a lot less power than it was before. So we should be good. We should be good. Right, Mike has asked, Botman to burn or Simicast? It depends what you want to do. Botman to burn is the boring move. Botman to Simicast is the exciting one, but might not work. Botman to burn, you know what you're getting. Botman to Simicast is a bit more risky, so it's up to you. I can't. I think they'll probably score very similarly. I'm going to try to do Twitter again now. My laptop's got a bit more power. See if you've got any leaks or anything. Christ. Oh, Aaron, I didn't really think they were particularly popular, to be honest. But now that you said that, wait and watch this week. I might do one again. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Thank you, mate. I'll crack it on. I'll crack it on this week. I usually do a buy and avoid video first, a wild card video, just because most weeks are useful for a wild card. I'll crack out an ultimate guide this week. I really appreciate you saying that, mate. I didn't think people actually liked them. I enjoyed making them, but yeah, just didn't think many people liked them. So yeah, I appreciate that, Aaron. Sometimes like a lot of YouTubers get stick for like looking at views and seeing if videos gain traction, etc. I think it's striking a balance for me, YouTube, of making content that I enjoy and making content that I am making content that people enjoy as well, if that makes sense. So you saying that, I'll make one this week. Yeah, sorry, I had it frozen. This is my leaked FPL team news list, so it came up on there. What we got? Saka, hold or sell? It depends. If you've got what was I going to say? If you've got someone on the bench that can cover this week, then I'd hold him. But if you don't, I'd sell him. But then you probably want him back next week. So it's a hard one. Benzema. Oh, Aaron, I appreciate that. Thank you, mate. Benzema was the most washed Ballon d'Or winner. The year he won the Ballon d'Or, he deserved it though, didn't he? He was awesome, but then he just dropped off. Some of the goals he scored that year that Madrid won the Champions League were a joke. He was levels above a lot of other players, so he definitely did deserve it. But for a 1 week punt before wildcard and fan team, yeah, do that, mate. I think Man United have got a decent chance for Clino. Why not? Why not? That was quite a raft getting my laptop sorted in time then, so I'm a little bit thrown off. So just screwing my mic back in as well. It threw my head out of the streaming rhythm then. I was just rushing to get it back fixed. When Modric won, at least it was cool. Yeah, Modric was quite cool, wasn't it? That was cool. He was good though, he deserved it. Same with Benzema. I think Benzema deserved that Ballon d'Or. He just fell off, didn't he? A little bit. Maybe it's an injury or something. Speaking of clean sheets, excuse me. I do have the clean sheet odds to share, look. It's part of the Ultimate Guide video that I didn't make. Here it is. There's your clean sheet odds. If you can see that. I can't see the stream preview to see if you can see that, but that should be some clean sheet odds on your screen now. There we go. We're back. We're back. Maguire scored more goals. You talking about the Benzema Ballon d'Or? I'm not having that. What year did he win it? 2022. Uh, 2-6. I'll have a look, Alexander, in just a second. He's not done great in the Saudi League, has he? Let's be honest. But he did his bits for Madrid, didn't he? Let's be honest. It's the year he won the Ballon d'Or, wasn't it? 31 starts, 27 goals, 12 assists. That's insane. And then there's the Champions League. He's got the Champions League in there somewhere? Oh, I'm looking at domestic leagues, aren't I? In the Champions League, he was just ridiculous. Oh, it's going to crash my laptop again looking at all those adverts. We'll get rid. Leaked FPL team news. Nothing yet. Haven't seen a leak. Looks like a good morning for Rob. So the 3 p.m. blackouts in the UK, you are not allowed to watch a 3 p.m. kickoff in the Premier League or professional football on telly in the UK. The idea is that it incentivises fans to actually go to the stadium to watch the games. So yeah, that's the 3 p.m. blackout basically. Can't show professional football games on telly in the UK, which obviously is just crazy, but yeah. Not for all leagues, just our own football. I think it's completely mental because I have a season ticket at Bristol City, and I would still go even if there wasn't a blackout. My body is asking for another coffee, by the way, after all that, so I might just take 2 minutes, grab a coffee, and then stick around for the final hour. There are pros and cons that come with living in Britain, mate. Martin, I personally think Haaland is the best captain. I don't know how you can say you don't trust Man City. They won the treble last year, and Rodri is back fit. I think one of the defining factors about City not looking great was no Rodri. He's back now. I think they'll clean up against Brighton. I really do. So I think Rodri's the man. That would be my thoughts. Still on the clean sheet odds, aren't we? I've not looked at not changed it. There we go. Will you back Brighton? I'm not sure, mate. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I agree with that opinion, Martin. It's fair enough, though. I respect yours, but it's not for me. That I'm backing Haaland. Flecken, Udogi, Trippier, Simicast, Salah, Mbumo, Sondy, Abby, Gordon, Haaland, Alvarez. Yeah, lovely team. Lovely team, mate. I'd probably start Porro and Cash over Simicast and Udogi, I must say. Any leaks? Any leaky leaks? No. Video of a Man City counter-attack. I won't play because I'll get copyrighted. Yeah, there you go. That's what Ben said. Brighton have not kept a clean sheet. Could this be the second? It's true. But Brighton have not kept a clean sheet. And it doesn't matter if Man City win or lose. It matters that Haaland scores FPL points. So also, I get this account. I get this account recommending me tweets all the time, Daily Loud. I've absolutely no idea what it's about, and it's got these like American, I guess they're hip hop artists, like Sexy Red and people like this. Who the hell are they? I've not heard of any of these people that they tweet about. I've not heard of any of them. Who's NLE Chopper? I've no idea. Who are these people? It's just not my thing. I don't know about Darwin. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if he starts or not. I don't think anyone does. I've not seen a leak yet. We'll get one. Because I'm scrolling Twitter, following the right people. As soon as we get one, I'll see it. But right now, I don't know. Right now, I don't know. Right, I'm desperate for a coffee, lads. I am desperate for a coffee after my mishaps earlier. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to go quickly top up. Well, I think I can. Can I play an ad break while I do that? I'm going to try it. How do I do an ad break? Ads inserted. I don't want to do that. I just want to play an advert while I go on a break. Can I do that? I'm just learning as I go. Answer my question before you go. Yeah, I don't mind it, Wing. I think they all make sense. It's going to be Sky. I think is going to be heavy on transfers in the next couple of weeks, so I wouldn't worry about that. I think it makes sense. Yeah, that's the way we're going to go. I've just no idea what's going on with this advert setting I'm using. We'll see. Right, I'm going to go make a coffee, if that's all right. Wing Lamb, I hope I helped you. I'll be back in a second. I've got a screen for you as well. No news on Forest yet, mate. Look at this. Hey. We're back. I've got my coffee. Just pushing my chair back in. No news on the Forest game. I think I said that before I went away. I've not seen anything. Not seen anything to suggest either way at the moment, which is obviously a little bit annoying. But yeah, I've not seen anything, I'm afraid. There's a few abandoned, but I don't think the Forest one is it? I think we'd know by now if the Forest game was abandoned. Yeah, look, they're tweeting about it. Surely that means it's not abandoned. There's a guy from Luton going to the game. Yeah, surely it's on. Surely it's on. But my coffee is hot, so it makes my glasses steam up. Also, Man United clean sheet wise, Reguilon and Varane are back, so that could be good. Reguilon's played well for United, to be fair. Any early team news? I'm looking, mate. I'm looking. How'd you have your coffee? I just have a white coffee. My first coffee of the day, though, I put 5 grams of creatine in it. So I have creatine in my coffee. You can't even taste it. So that's how you get your... I use creatine, by the way. So I'm a, high performance athlete. So yeah, I crack my creatine in there, but I just have a white coffee. I can't show you the contents. This is the colour of my coffee. It just looks like coffee, doesn't it, really? How do you have your coffee, Ben? Right. I'm on Twitter and you guys can't see that. So that's not fair. There you go. Sam's nervous about no Haaland, and I would be too. You see this, a guy claiming that he knocked out Mike Tyson in a pub. I'm not sure that happened. Yeah, that's fair, mate. I found recently, you can see I've got a few spots in my forehead. I've had to change to vegan protein powder rather than whey because whey protein powder has been giving me like really big breakouts of acne. You can kind of see it on my forehead at the moment. I'm not in great shape at the moment in terms of that. So I've had to use vegan protein powder, which doesn't taste as good. And I don't like protein shakes. So yeah, I don't really do the protein shakes. I just eat a lot of chicken. So yeah, I can't do that unfortunately. So I crack it in the old coffee. That works just fine. I did, Ben, and I respect his decision. It's up to him, isn't it? He do what he likes with his Twitter account. I don't know what's going on in his head, so I wouldn't profess to say. But the vegan protein powder's doing all right, to be fair. I just saw your comment. Vegan's doing good, so yeah. Beef isolate. What? Not even a thing. Holy, it is. I'll have to give that a go at some point. I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't even know you could get that. 27 grams of protein. Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. Oh, they have less flavours. Interesting. Is it expensive? It's not too bad, to be fair, is it? It's halal as well. Well, it's actually no. But then you've got to have a discount code for this to be good, haven't you? That looks pretty good, to be fair, mate. Salah or Haaland captain? It's Haaland for me, 100% Haaland. But I'd understand if you wanted to go Salah, but Haaland for me. Reece James is back, look. I hope. Obviously, I don't support Chelsea, but I hope that his career can actually get off to a good start again now without injuries, because it's a real shame. He's triple captain in Haaland. I tell you what, I don't mind that. We'll tweet him, give him a bit of support. Brighton are near top of the table, but that's because they're good going forward. Defensively, they're terrible. They've not kept a clean sheet yet this season, which makes me think that Man City are going to do really well. Is it predicted 11? Is this the picture of it? Where's the picture? Where's the 11? Edison, Walker, Stones, Guardiola, Rodri, Bernardo Alvarez, Foden. Yeah, fair enough, Ben. Fair enough. Even then, Man City is like, I don't mean to say this, and it sounds wrong, doesn't it? But Man City are the worst team in the league to have a double game week, because on paper it looks lovely, but also you think by that time De Bruyne is probably back, which means Alvarez is less nailed. Who other than Haaland can you back to play 2 games that's actually worth owning in FPL? So yeah, I like the triple captain Haaland game week 20, but likewise, I don't think it's worth like banging on City, if that makes sense. It sounds wrong to say that though, doesn't it? Yeah, Sidemen Shorts, we'll see what happens there. You're based in South Africa, aren't you? Do I remember you saying? I do think you'll beat England, don't get me wrong, but anything can happen in one game. Yeah, rugby's been quite exciting the last couple of weeks, to be fair. Big ups rugby. I was just looking at... Oh, no. Hopefully that will help me find... There we go. So Mansfield, Forest Green has been cancelled. And then this guy, FPL Joe N, has been taking photos of the city ground. This is what it looks like. So the river looks high. The football ground, by the way, is here on the River Trent. The river looks high, but it's not that high yet. couple of paths have been blocked. He's saying he's seen that before. There's a bloke running by the river. Look, he reckons the game's going to be on. I have no idea why. It just says the effects of the storm. I don't know why. Who wins South Africa versus New Zealand? Why are you saying that? It's going to be England, New Zealand. I don't know. I genuinely have no idea. Oh yeah, you're not UK based, are you? Yeah, and the north of the country, we've got some pretty mad storms at the moment. Pretty mad storms. It's quite funny, isn't it? The storm coming when Maguire starts. Absolutely, mate. It's a storm in the north of England when Maguire's starting. I'm gonna do a tweet about I'm gonna delete that. I don't need to tell anyone that's a joke. If you can't tell that that's a joke, then you're a loser. Oh, I'm not gonna caveat it at all. Oh, Juntao, I am indeed rolling. Here's my team. I'll put my team back up for the last 40 minutes or so. Neto, Adrian. Neto. Neto is the best, in my opinion. Neto or Gordon? As you can see, I've got Neto. Or you could go Cole Palmer if you really want to be rogue, but I like Neto. Neto is just safe as houses. I like him. By the way, do you guys think there is any way that someone wouldn't realise that that's a joke? That is not a Forest grind. I'm going to caveat it with a joke. No leaks yet. Still waiting on the old leaks. But yeah, Neto is by far and away the best as a replacement. $503 fan team points. Have a look. Yeah, 503.7 if you find me. FPL Noble Gent. Excuse me, I got so excited I swallowed my coffee the wrong way. Good to see you in the stream, mate. I'm doing very well. Hope you are too. What are your plans this week, my friend? You've been on a run this morning? I hope you have. You've been a bit of an inspiration with that, I must say. Cheers to you. You've inspired me to train this week. No, I would captain Haaland. Yeah, shows the levels indeed, mate. I've got more points than you. Yeah, you can do fantastically well, mate. Good luck to you. More power to you, mate. Oh, good man. Yeah, you'll be fine, Noble Gent. Just keep going. Just keep going. It'd be amazing if you can do it. Just gonna see what's the old weather saying here. Yeah, looking all right. What's Joey on about, eh? Weather's looking fine. Or is it? Yeah, weather's all good. Need to do 22 miles in the next 11 days. To me, that seems, for you, mate, very, very doable. You've got that in your locker. You got it in you, mate. Yeah, FPL Mikey, he, in fact, let's go back on Twitter. He responded to my jokey tweet about Nottingham. Him. Absolutely smashing it. Absolutely smashing it. Simicast said we got a start alert. Simicast starts. What a surprise. Oh, good for you, Noble Gent. Well, you've done well. He starts. There's our first leak. Didn't mean to do that. I'll just do a screenshot of my team and tweet it a sec. I reckon Gordon. If I take Gordon, I have no route to Saka. You don't want to have Souček in your team, do you? You don't want to have Souček in your team. On a wild card, do you reckon Souček? Yeah, sorry, I've just read that. Oh no, that's horrendous. They're always on the replies, this lot. 52,000 tweets. They're always replying to teams saying good luck. It's very nice of them. I'm really happy with my team, though. My team is Anderson, Gahey and Lamptey. One free transfer with $1 million in the bank. What should I do about Darwin if he doesn't start? I think if he doesn't start this week, he starts the next one. So I think Palmer's all right, I guess. I think Palmer's probably better than Souček. I don't really read too much into the early kickoff. But yeah, it's the old Gandhi meme, isn't it? I'm going to have to tweet it. You got to tweet it out, haven't you? You got to get the tweet out. Haaland captain all day, every day for me, mate. Gianni's on the sky. Good for you, mate. Go for it, Ben. That's what the chat's for. Just put stuff in. You've got ex winners of the game, all sorts. Crack it in the chat, mate. I wouldn't do a -4 for Simicast, mate. I just think Diaz to Dallo makes sense. I'm gonna do a to-do list. Sorry, doing a few tweets, cracking a few tweets out. Hope you enjoyed my tweets. Simicast is playing Alexandru. That's all I've seen so far. My rank, mate, I'm 127k overall. So I'm doing the not bad face. Alfie, what's your team, mate? Simicast instead of Cash. That is so bold. I'm not sure I'd do that, man. You are the maverick, though, aren't you, Alexandru? So if you want to go for that, you go for that, pal. You do it. You do you, bro. You do you. Darwin Núñez starts. There's some leaks. This account is mixed. Every leak I've seen from it has proven to be right, but some of them are wrong. Well, apparently he's not very reliable, or they aren't very reliable. But every tweet I've seen has proven to be right. I don't remember an incorrect one. I'd put them in that order. Jun Tao. I'd put them in that order, mate. Any news on Saka? I've not seen anything, I'm afraid, mate. What does Draft Hound say? What between my benching dilemmas? So you want to do a three-way comparison, don't you, I guess? What was your dilemma?